Hi everybody, welcome to weeks 11 and 12 actually. This will be a joint week, or joint 2-week period, working on culture material. And we'll start out with some theory, but then we're going to actually get into an applied assignment, as you'll see.
So this 2 weeks is about culture, and then the next 2 weeks is about your project, which are the last 4 weeks. And I always like a phrase that Mark uses, which he says, don't limp out of here.
Don't limp out.
Don't limp out. So this is the time you're really going to be applying information now in a meaningful way to your own organization. So this is probably the most applied and most critical in terms of you feeling like it's really connecting to your organization. Yeah. So don't limp out, really get that last push. And so you'll see that what we're doing this week, in these 2 weeks, and then the next 2 weeks, is that you've learned a little bit about leadership, which you're going to be applying to both studying your culture and then starting to plan out your project. And then in systems, we've also talked about some of the things, and certainly key players are part of the elements of the system. You'll see when we get to doing the culture audit as well that a lot of the connections between the different elements is going to be an important part of assessing the culture. And then finally, though, we're talking about leadership in complex human systems. So for us, our systems are all about people, and so paying attention to the culture is going to be really, really important. And I know that we all think that we know the culture, but this is going to be a way of really diving down and taking the theory about organizational culture and then applying it to your own organization, doing cultural audit, a tool that Mark and I developed as a way to try and translate the information for you. So I think that you'll enjoy it.
So this is a 2-week period, and you're going to have, in the first week, actually it's all lumped into one, but we've given you 2 weeks to complete it. And so there are 2 Camtasia presentations, there are a few articles, and the first thing you want to do is the quiz, because that'll sort of prep you for the actual culture audit. And out of that 2-week period, you're going to want to probably take 10 days. I think you're going to need a good chunk of time to actually do all the observations and all the things that are necessary. There's also a good to great post that you'll see. But when you look at the assignments, I want you to think about budgeting your time so you maximize the amount of time for the culture audit, because you can't do it in one day. You can't squeeze it in. It's going to be the kind of thing you're probably going to have to do a little bit each day. We're going to ask you to include some other people from work. That's going to become really important. But you also, hopefully you'll find that this is probably one of the most meaningful assignments that you'll do, although it will take you some time. It's not that easy to do, actually. But.
So most of the time that's spent is going to be in your organization, though. And when Mark says 10 days, it doesn't mean that you have to take 2 weeks vacation for it. But
no.
It's probably, an hour a day,
yeah.
Being able to be in your organization, which is a good way to utilize your time. And so we've given you all of the information for the next 2 weeks because they're all aligned, but I think that we're setting up the assignments in 2 different areas. So we've got, in the first week, we have just a few of the assignments, more of the prep kind of assignments. So you've got the quiz, and you've got the good to great posts, which align with the audit, and then you've got a progress report. So we're going to want to know what your progress is for the first week on the culture audit. And then the second week, the culture audit is actually due.
But don't do it that way. I would do those first couple assignments like in the first 3 or 4 days, and then try to give it yourself as much time as you can again for the audit piece, because what you don't want to do is end up 5 days or 6 days in and realize, oh my God, I have all this work to do, I haven't even looked at it, and then realize you don't have enough time. That would be.
We will know if it's not very engaging.
And we are looking for a plus up level of work on this particular assignment, just because we're both so passionate about it. And if you do it the right way, you're really going to learn not only a ton about your organization, but it may change the way that you interact and manage by wandering around. You may be wandering around with a whole different purpose. So there's really some good stuff here.
I think you'll see that Mark and I are very passionate about this.
Passionate,
and so we want to see that passion translated in your work.
We do.
So enjoy it, but ask us any questions along the way if you need to as well.
All right, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.